In a small town where most days passed without anything remarkable, lived a boy named Daniel. He was not the loudest in his class, nor the strongest, nor the most confident. Daniel was the kind of person people often overlooked, the one who listened more than he spoke and noticed things others ignored. Every morning, Daniel walked the same path to school. Along the way, he passed an old bus stop where an elderly man named Mr. Harris sat alone on a broken bench. Most people hurried past him. Some pretended not to see him at all. His clothes were worn, his hands shook slightly, and his eyes carried a tired sadness. Daniel noticed something else. Every day, Mr. Harris clutched a small, folded piece of paper and looked at it as if it were a treasure. One cold morning, Daniel finally gathered the courage to stop. "Good morning, sir," he said softly. Mr. Harris looked up, surprised, then smiled. "Good morning, young man." That single greeting became a habit. Daniel would stop each day, exchange a few words, sometimes just a smile. Over time, Mr. Harris began to talk. He spoke of his late wife, of a daughter who had moved far away and never called, and of how lonely days could become when the world moved on without you. One afternoon, Daniel noticed Mr. Harris seemed more anxious than usual. "I'm supposed to go to the hospital today," the old man admitted, "but I don't think I can manage the bus alone anymore." Daniel hesitated. He had a math test the day one he had studied hard for. Missing it would mean extra trouble, maybe even punishment. For a moment, he stood silent. Then he said, "I can go with you." They walked together. Slowly, Daniel helped him onto the bus, waited with him at the hospital, and made sure he was safely seen by a doctor. Daniel missed his test and arrived home late, exhausted and nervous about the consequences. When the school called his parents, Daniel told the truth. He expected anger. Instead, his mother hugged him tightly. "You did the right thing," she said. "Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's choosing kindness when it costs you something." A week later, Daniel's teacher allowed him to retake the test. But something more meaningful happened too. Mr. Harris was no longer alone at the bus stop. People had noticed. A neighbor began checking on him. A shop owner offered him tea in the mornings. Even Daniel's classmates, hearing the story, started greeting him with respect. Daniel never thought of himself as brave. He never made a speech or stood on a stage, but his small, quiet choice had changed more than one life, including his own. And that is the truth about courage. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply stops, listens, and chooses to care. Moral, true courage is often silent, selfless, and found in small acts of kindness that make a big difference. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.